Hello everybody, this is Dr. Nowak again. There's two things I want to talk about in this video. One is one of my female angelfish disappeared about 2 weeks ago, and she was a big fish, I would say, with a body of about 2.5, 3 inches, just the body alone. And a few months ago, I lost another female angelfish who had spawned several times. Just died unexpectedly. Well, this female fish was pairing up with, I have two males, with the two males I have, and they were fighting over her and doing the normal stuff, and it looked like she was going to spawn and everything else. And all of a sudden, she went missing. Okay, it happens. I've had fish jump out, so I looked around the aquarium, all over the floor, underneath the chairs and stuff like that. Maybe it bounced around. Nothing. So I looked in the tank, got a flashlight, looked behind the wood, plants, the best I could. You know, you can't get everything. This tank's been up for just about 3 years now, and it's pretty well overgrown with foliage, so it's hard to get in there and see. But I even got a flashlight, a high-powered flashlight, went in there looking, couldn't find her. She just disappeared. Now, maybe this has happened to you, maybe it hasn't happened to you. So here it is, 2 weeks later, both males are kind of fighting with each other, and I'm thinking maybe she laid eggs somewhere where I can't see them, and one of the males are protecting the spot where they were, and that's what they seem to be doing, where one male's fighting the other male in the corner of the tank, and that's where they seem to go, in the corners of the tank where it's darker and less current. Still never could find her. Just yesterday, I thought, you know what, I'm going to change some water in the tank and take a look around for this female. It's got to be somewhere in the tank, right? So I emptied some of the water, and there I found her. She all of a sudden was on the side, if you're facing the tank, she'd be on the left-hand side in some plants right next to the glass. It's like, there's no way I could have missed that. How did she get there? I don't know. But she was pretty well rotten away. But the thing of it is, before I found her, I did some tests, ammonia, nitrate, your normal, usual suspect test. Nothing was showing up. But when I pulled her out, of course, she smelled. You can tell that when I pulled her out with some tweezers, that, wow, she smelled pretty bad. So she was polluting the tank, but she wasn't polluting the tank where she upsetted any of the ammonia, nitrates. The fish showed no effect of that large angel dying in there. Completely white, fins were, kind of eating away on it, and smelling real bad. Didn't seem to affect the fish. It didn't affect the nitrogen cycle or anything else. The reason I'm bringing this up is because fish die. Why did she die? She was rotted away. I don't know. Sometimes they jump out of your tank, right? But fish die for no apparent reason. Or they may die and you're doing everything you can to protect your fish. Nobody seems to be sick, and all of a sudden you come home and you find a dead fish. It happens with a lot of fish. You don't know. Fish are like humans, though. You have to look at it. But they're a little different than humans. And that is, when an animal gets sick, whether it's a fish or bird or anything, they have a mechanism, a built-in mechanism, not to let other animals know that they're sick until at the very end, when it's too late. You will see animals when they get real sick. Birds do this. You won't know. Your cat, dogs do this. They have to be pretty well sick before they start showing signs that they are sick. This is a built-in instinct into the animals, and fish have the same instinct. Not until they get real sick do they start showing signs. Well, by then it may be too late to treat the fish, bring them back. That is natural. Okay, that's a natural occurrence. By the time you see a fish that is sick, it's really sick. Not like us humans. We feel sick, we hurry up, go to the doctor, get it taken care of, or we start taking medicine. You know, if we get a cold or something, fish can't do that. So I thought I would bring that up because a lot of us try very hard to keep our fish. And for some reason, it could be picked on. They could have parasites, something that you don't catch. There are 5 known viruses of fish. We have no cures for them. So if they get a virus, there's no cure for it. Your fish is going to die. They can get a bacteria infection that you don't know. They can get internal bacteria infections that you don't know. You have to get the antibiotic in the fish. A lot of times with koi ponds, you will have antibiotics that you can actually inject into the fish because it's big enough that you can inject the antibiotic into the big, large koi. What do you do with tropical fish that aren't quite that big where you can actually inject antibiotics into them? Excuse me. By the time you notice, it could be far too late. So we do our best. We try to give them the best conditions, and it's sad when you do see a fish like I had flying foxes. I had 4 of them. I only have 2 now. 2 died. Why? I don't know why. You know, they die. Then all of a sudden you can't find them. You're looking all over the tank. You still can't find them. Then all of a sudden they appear in a corner somewhere or in the front, dead. And you wonder, well, what happened? The other 3 are doing good. Then another one may die, but I have 2 out of the 4. But this is not uncommon for fish to get sick. You can't notice it, and they die. So, with that said, I did want to bring that up, that you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. If you're trying the best you can, that's all you can do, is your best. And don't feel guilty if a fish dies. And of course, the worst part of all this, and people will tell you this, you'll have a fish, and it'll be the best fish that you got. And this happens a lot with goldfish, koi, and it happens with tropical fish too. And you'll get the best one you really like. That's the one that's going to get sick and die. Your best koi, and I've seen this, best chigoi, koi, you know, guy had one worth $19,000. One day they wake up, it's a floater. Don't think they didn't take care of this, their koi pond. They did. They were professionals at it. Just died. And it's going to be something where this perfect chigoi that they had was absolutely perfect, show quality, perfect, dead. So things like this happen, even to the very, very best. And it usually is going to happen to your most favorite fish too. Why? I do not know, but it happens. Just like I didn't want the angel to die because the other female had perished. And you kind of think to yourself, well, hold it. If something is infecting, or if there's a parasite or something, why would it only kill the females and not the males? See, that makes you think, what's going on here? And one of my males actually jumped out of the tank, laying on the floor. I picked him up. I don't know how long he was sitting there even. He was a little dried up. I put him back in the tank. It took him about 2 weeks to recover, but he recovered, okay? Even with the traumatic thing like jumping out of the tank. And he looked pretty bad, but he went and hid, and I figured, well, if he dies, he dies. There's not much I can do except try to get, water and get his body going. And right now I'm looking at him, he's doing fine. He's swimming around, his fins are growing all back. It's one of those things that, he's one of my oldest angels, and I wouldn't want him to die. So don't beat yourself up about it. So until next time, this is Dr. Novak. Happy fish keeping, and thank you for watching.